We are continuing to follow the race for the White House. Donald Trump's hush money trial, it's naturally been getting a lot of attention. But it's also important to note that the man is still running for he's running a campaign here. He's running for president. NBC Boston political commentator Sue O'Connell joins us. Sue, listen, we know where Trump's been, right? He's been in a New York courtroom, or he's been just outside of it, behind those rails there, yelling at everyone, saying that it's a witch hunt. My question to you is, on the flip side of this, right? Where is the president? Where is President Biden? Is he sort of deliberately keeping his head down while Trump is going through this, while he's on trial? Or is something else going on here, something else at play?
Yeah, I think, Colton, the answer is all of the above, right? We know that if Trump were in the White House and his political opponent was on trial, Trump would probably be holding a daily press conference from the court. Look, the Biden campaign, they tried to dip their toe into that water a little bit yesterday. They held a news conference in front of the courthouse yesterday. The risk to the Biden campaign is that if it amplifies Trump's claims, it amplifies Trump's claims of prosecution, that it's political if he aligns himself with the trial. But Biden himself, is on the campaign trail. He was today making a rare joint appearance with Vice President Kamala Harris. They were in Philadelphia appealing to black voters. It's a very delicate balance for Biden. We're going to see if this approach is ultimately successful.
I want to ask you, I was reading earlier about the debate, right? We now know that Biden and Trump, they will debate, but it was decided first by the president that the debates would be done with the campaign sort of coordinating directly with all of the networks, all the major networks. Instead of letting the commission on the presidential debates decide, how does that work? What's sort of behind this move here, the decision here?
Yeah, Colton, this is one of those situations where the spin that's being put out there may actually be the truth. The Biden campaign said that this commission on presidential debates, which most of you at home probably didn't even know existed, that the Biden campaign felt that it was not keeping up with the way Americans actually vote now and how the process of voting is now. And they were pointing to the early voting. And the Biden campaign also claimed that the commission did not enforce the debate rules back in the 2020 debate. So the Republicans, they've already decided they weren't going to play ball with the commission. So now the candidates and the networks who host the debates are free to hopefully make the debates more important and significant to the voters. We'll see what happens.
Setting their bar very high with these two.
Well, it's a low bar to begin with.
Yeah. Really quickly here, one more before you go. There's a lot of Republicans who have been asked on the record lately, the question in some way, will you accept the results of the 2024 election? And more than a few of them, senators, congressmen, state lawmakers, even the folks who are RNC leadership, they've all said basically the same thing, that they would accept the results only if they're, quote, fair or honest. What's your take on that? What's your thoughts on sort of the general thoughts on that position? Is that even an answer?
No, Colton, and it's a very dangerous situation, and I think it's something that we should all be paying close attention to. Look, our election process is safe and sound, and election fraud rarely happens, and if there are irregularities or fraud, they don't impact the results of elections. And we already have very strict voting laws that are on the books. So when we have a free and fair presidential election coming up in November, and if Donald Trump doesn't win, the Republicans who are now casting doubt on our entire process are sowing the seeds of violence. In fully functioning democracies, when you lose, you accept the results and you concede. If you want to run again, you run again. But if Trump loses in November and doesn't do that, we're going to have a hard time holding on to our democracy, I fear, Colton.
All right, Sue, we appreciate your insight as always. Again, you can catch Sue every Sunday right here on NBC Boston. At Issue is on at 11:30. That is right after Meet the Press.